You advertising that this week there were 150,000 viewers. Convention years sophisticated travelers and business decision makers also learned of the fabulous Las Vegas Daily. Companies are spending their time and entertainment decisions are made after the event, and they spend only 6 hours a day viewing television in their rooms. Can you afford not to have your commercial message inside 80,000 hotel rooms? Talk about smarter advertising. Call 800-551-8650. Discover a smarter way to reach visitors with Touch Media.
What works? Your child sees and hears the word clap, followed by hearing and seeing the meaning of the word while saying or doing the word. It's that simple. Get the complete Your Baby Can Read early learning system of DVDs, books, and cards. A 30-day risk-free trial, yours to try today for only $14.95. Order today and get these free gifts. This could be your child's once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. To order, call 1-800-373-1129. 1-800-373-1129.
I've called many things my life because of my viewpoints. But the only thing that they really love to trot out over and over again is that I'm Father Cosmo. Most people don't even know who that is, but you need to know who it is. When you see that it's laughable. It's a deep insult to be compared to him, but it's hysterical because it's so ridiculously inaccurate. It doesn't even make sense. Yes, Father Coughlin was against communism. Yes, he was on the radio, like me. Yes, he was against the sitting president, FDR. But it's weird because that's where it ends. Because he was initially a supporter of FDR. He was also wildly anti-Semitic. Not me. He was for the unions. You know how much I love unions. And he's also for, and this is my favorite, this is his magazine, an original copy from the day. He was also for social justice. The union man. Oh, yes. That's me in a nutshell, isn't it? Actually, he was not a fan of FDR after he got in office because he thought FDR's policies didn't go far enough. Again, not me. Father Coughlin perverted American ideals for his own power, and most importantly, for social justice. Social justice. Social justice. Social justice. Let me go back to the railroad. Father Coughlin was on where, I don't know where the board went. Father Coughlin was on the wrong side of the European tracks. He was on the right side of the European tracks. Fascism. He was the leader of a nationalist socialist movement. The danger from the so-called right. Watch.
As the presidential election approaches, a Roman Catholic priest, for the first time in American history, is seriously involved in national politics.
Father Charles Coughlin was one of the most influential voices of the 1930s. He was a Catholic priest who became immensely popular radio personality with the largest audience in the world.
Radio was the first mass media in a way that print never could be, coming around almost exactly on time with this economic hardship. It was this electric combination. There were times when Father Coughlin's following got to the point where he had 30 to 40 million listeners. You could walk down the block and you could hear the same broadcast of Father Coughlin coming from every window, because every family was listening to it.
At his peak, Coughlin received more mail than the White House, 80,000 letters a week. Many of them contained cash. Born in Canada, 1891, Coughlin first took to the radio airwaves in 1926. Right after, he joined the Detroit Diocese. At first, the content of his broadcast centered around Catholicism. However, during the early 1930s, he changed the content of his broadcast to political and economic commentary. His primary targets were Jews, socialists, communists, and international bankers. He was the quintessential economic populist.
He railed against the big department stores, against the banks, the fat cat Wall Street interests. There was always the anti-Semitic strain to Coughlin's diatribe.
He blamed Jews for the Great Depression, communism, and for all the nation's ills. During a rally in New York, he said, quote, "When we get through with the Jews in America, they'll think the treatment they received in Germany was nothing."
Critics of Coughlin only started pointing to his anti-Semitism when Coughlin started criticizing FDR. When Coughlin was one of FDR's main supporters, no one really seemed to care.
Coughlin started off as a huge supporter of FDR. In the 1932 election, Coughlin said the nation's choice was Roosevelt or ruin. And he dubbed the New Deal Christ's deal. He had radical monetary policies. He thought increasing inflation would get America out of the Great Depression. When FDR refused to support this type of legislation, Coughlin turned on him and became FDR's harshest critic. He called the president the great betrayer and liar and a Jew. His views and activities became even more extreme. He started a campaign for social justice.
What social justice meant for Father Coughlin was ill-defined redistribution of wealth, redistribution of power, the radical takedown of the established economic interests.
In 1934, he established the National Union for Social Justice, a 5 million-member workers' rights organization that would protect the common man from the abuses of capitalism. He also started a national weekly newspaper called Social Justice that promoted congressional candidates and reinforced his radio themes.
We will endorse a candidate who can rise above his party and put patriotism first.
Coughlin's criticism of FDR and the New Deal eventually led to his demise. FDR succeeded in silencing him through a National Association of Broadcasters Code, passed in 1939, that forbade controversial broadcasts. By the following year, Father Coughlin was off the air. The reason why Father Coughlin became so popular was because of fear and hunger during the Great Depression. People's lives had come apart and they didn't know what to do, so they turned to somebody, a priest, Father Coughlin. He was able to articulate their feelings. Unfortunately, his solutions were fascist. I mean, here he's got a picture in one of his magazines, picture of Stalin and Hitler. But it's social security, still a hope, because they haven't tried the Christian plan. The Christian plan. Social justice. Back to me.
The marriage of communism and big labor exposed. Introducing the Airhawk Sharpshooter, the first missile-firing helicopter ever offered. Just aim, lock on target, and fire. The Sharpshooter's computer stabilizer and patented tail-lock technology keep it steady so you can hit your target. This super stable heli carries an arsenal of 2 missiles and is always ready to fire. Just lock in your chosen target and blast them with the push of a button. Whether aiming at a stationary target or engaged in air-to-air combat, no enemies are out of range for the Sharpshooter. When you order the Airhawk Sharpshooter, you get the super stable, easy-to-fly missile-firing heli, the rapid charging controller, 12 extra missiles, plus targets and target wall mounts for 2 payments of $19.95, plus shipping and handling. Batteries not included. The Airhawk Sharpshooter. Steady, aim, fire. Here's how you can order. You can call 1-800-258-1720. Sharpshooter, 2 payments of $19.95, or double $39.90 plus $12.99. Shipping and handling. You must be 18 or older to order. You wouldn't dry your clothes with an iron, and you wouldn't iron your clothes with a dryer. Now you can do both at the same time with Mr. Steamy, the revolutionary new dryer ball with the power of steam. It turns your dryer into a wrinkle releasing machine. Just add water and toss it in. As your dryer heats up, Mr. Steamy steams up to release wrinkles and creases. Fresh shirts come out neat and professional. Pants and slacks look new and fresh. And your kids' clothes are wrinkle-free. Even pillowcases and sheets come out hotel smooth. This side-by-side test proves that there's nothing better at getting out wrinkles inside your dryer than Mr. Steamy. Forgot about that load for hours? That's a wrinkled mess. No problem. Simply toss in Mr. Steamy, and in minutes, your clothes are ready to wear. Plus, Mr. Steamy softens your clothes as they dry for fluffier fabrics without dryer sheets, saving you money. Need that shirt in a hurry? Mr. Steamy is the fastest way to get wrinkles out without getting the iron out. From cottons to polys to blends, let Mr. Steamy get the wrinkles out for you. You've seen dryers that use steam technology advertised for thousands. But Mr. Steamy puts steam technology in your dryer for just $19.99. Call right now and we'll include Fresh Shot free. Whether it's mildew, smoke, sweat, or pet, a single cap added to Mr. Steamy gets rid of smelly set-in odors the washer misses. Yours free.
If Mr. Stevie is not the best way to get wrinkles out of your clothes without ironing, send it back for a full refund of the purchase price. But we're not done.